Three ones that I think will give some good bang for the buck. So I gave that preamble on evolutionary psychology, the primitive mechanisms of fight or flight in the body, right? Why I give that preamble is to say if anxiety stems from that mechanism, then what is happening is when you're afraid, when you're anxious, those mechanisms are blaring out and you need to get them to quiet down somehow, right? Now, this is sort of more like, again, in the moment strategy, because it's like if I'm already feeling fearful, like I gotta turn that fight or flight mechanism off, or I gotta try to get it to power down a little bit. So all the things that I'm gonna talk about right now are geared toward that, just a little bit of a disclaimer. So the first one being, right, you think about that mechanism and what that mechanism is designed to get you to do. It's designed to get you to move your body, right? You're in front of that tiger and it's like, oh man, like I better run for my life, otherwise I'm going to die. That mechanism still runs inside of us. It is still secreting the same hormones. We've got cortisol and adrenaline coursing through our veins, sending us signals and saying, Gary, Brian, run. And yet what we do is, and I do this too, so I'm not judging, we sit on our couch and we sweat through our t-shirts, right? And what that really results in is these hormones just continuing to course through our bloodstreams rather than us using them as temporary spurts of energy to, get us moving, get the signals to go away, and then be back to homeostasis, if you will. So that's really the first one. And the reason that it's challenging these days to implement actually, right? Because it's like, if you are in that meeting at the office, it's a little awkward to be like, I need to get up and I need to go run around the block, But if you are actually about to go into a panic attack or something like that, you might want to say, what would be better or what would be worse? Would it be better that I have a panic attack right now in front of all my colleagues, or that I look a little awkward and I get up, I go out onto the street, nobody in my office knows I'm out there, and I come back in 5 minutes, right? You just take a little mental health break. Let me just pause there. We can obviously talk about tips 2 and 3, but I just want to see if you have anything to add.
I love that angle. Because exercise is one of these things that everyone talks about all the time, but I wrote down when you were saying it, even before you said it, run, because it links up to this evolutionary biological perspective. Your body is telling you to run. It's telling you to act. And if you just actually listen to your body and exert that energy and express it in a healthy way, which is exercise, whether that is a run, which we're going to say run in quotes, or go lift, or go do some standing squats in your office. Just do 30 squats with no weight, and just to get your heart rate up. And when you take control of your autonomic nervous system by exerting your body, it's control of a part of your nervous system that you don't have control of. So autonomic nervous system is the part of your body. There's the sympathetic and the parasympathetic side. It happens automatically, right? Like your body, you get inputs and your body pushes out hormones to sort of drive a flight or fight or a rest and digest process. So I say embrace it. And that's what you're saying, embrace it. If your body's telling you to fight or flight, go for a run. Go do something that feels like that. And then your body will go, okay, got you. We did it. Actually, there's no tiger. We're going to chill. And so that's what I would add to it is it's actually if they're hacking our nervous system to make us anxious, then let's listen to it and give our nervous system what it needs. And then you will find balance again.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I guess I would just add for listeners, right? This isn't to say go for a 30-minute run every time that you feel a little anxious. It's like, it could be as simple as Gary said, do a couple squats in your office, run 300 feet, right? Just get that heart rate up, get your body moving, try to clear those stress hormones that are coursing through your bloodstream for sure. So very closely related to that one is the idea of doing some deep breathing. And so what I want to talk about here that I haven't necessarily said explicitly, even though you just talked about it, right, is the divisions of the nervous system. So we have that autonomic nervous system, like what you said, Gary. It controls processes that happen automatically. So we don't have to think about our digestion, right? It happens on its own. Same thing for, heart rate for the most part. We're not sitting there pushing a button, telling our heart rate to go a certain speed. If you look at the autonomic nervous system, you break it down into those two parts that you just talked about. You have the sympathetic nervous system, AKA fight or flight. You have the parasympathetic nervous system, AKA rest and digest. And so you can think of sympathetic, parasympathetic as like a tug of war or seesaw kind of thing, right? And it's like, there are times where we're really stressed out. There are times where we're really relaxed. And there are other times where we're somewhere in between. When we're very anxious, the sympathetic nervous system is revved up pretty high, right? And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get that parasympathetic response to activate a little bit and bring us back toward calm. Scientifically speaking, and I couldn't exactly tell you why it works this way, but scientifically speaking, when you do deep breathing, you get that parasympathetic activation. Specifically, when you breathe in, your heart rate increases a little bit, so you get a little bit of a sympathetic activation. And then when you breathe out fully, you get a parasympathetic activation, so your heart rate slows back down. One other thing to add here, right, is like, you think about the way that anxiety works and the fight or flight mechanism works, and you say, okay, I am in front of a tiger right now. When the sympathetic nervous system comes online, it has really one goal, and that is to help you survive, right? It is not to help you think critically. It is not to help you turn things over in your mind and be analytical. There's no time to be like, hey, Mr. Tiger, what's your name? Where's your family? What do you like for breakfast? You got to get the heck out of there. What that means for us is that when we're in that anxious state, it's very hard to think clearly, which then means it's also very hard to pull out other steps out of your toolkit and say, I'm going to implement this one next. You're just like, I need to survive, right? So when you're doing that deep breathing, not only are you calming yourself back down through the parasympathetic activation, but you are also bringing the mechanisms inside your brain back online that allow you to think a little bit more deeply, critically, analytically, clearly, all that stuff, right? So the reason why I talk about breathing, even though it is simple, is it really is kind of one of those first steps. It allows you to get your body back in a physiological state that then allows you to say to yourself, hey, I actually have a toolkit. I remember that now. And because I remember that and I can think about it and I'm not totally crazed, let me think about what step I am going to enlist next.